They told me not to stop on the bridge. Whatever you do, don't say his name. Don't call him. But I didn't believe in ghost stories. Not until I crossed Old Alton Bridge after midnight and saw hooves in the road. I thought it was a deer until it stood up and looked right at me. There was something wrong with its face. Horns, eyes that burned red, and the rope still tied around its neck. They say he was a goat farmer, accused of witchcraft and lynched on that very bridge in 1938. But he didn't die. Not really. Now, if you park your car and call his name 3 times, he comes. And if you see him, it's already too late. My name is Alex. I'm a freelance photographer. Last fall, I was working on a photo series about abandoned places across Texas. Old schools, cemeteries, bridges, anything forgotten or rumored to be haunted. That's what led me to Old Alton Bridge. Locals call it Goatman's Bridge. I thought it'd be just another shoot, capture some eerie angles, maybe catch some fog if I got lucky. I rented a small cabin nearby to crash for the weekend. It was quiet, tucked deep in the woods. Perfect for editing in peace. The first night was calm. Too calm. The kind of silence that almost buzzes in your ears. The second night, I noticed something strange. I had left my camera gear by the window. When I came back from the bathroom, one of the lenses was on the floor, shattered. No wind, no vibration, nothing that should have moved it. I figured I bumped the table without realizing it. Told myself I was tired, distracted. But then came the nightmare. I saw the bridge completely empty, and then hooves slowly walking across the wood. A tall shape appeared. Half man, half something else. His head was that of a goat. I woke up drenched in sweat, my chest tight like something had just been sitting on me. Still, I chalked it all up to stress. A creepy location, sleep deprivation, an overactive imagination. I mean, I'd heard the stories. Everyone around Denton talks about the Goatman. But stories are just stories, right? I was supposed to leave the next day. Just finish shooting and go. But something kept me up that night. Around 2:30 a.m., I heard a sound outside the cabin, knocking. Soft at first, then harder. 3 knocks. Always 3. I grabbed my flashlight, walked toward the door. But the second I opened it, a nothing. Just the cold wind and the dense trees. As I stepped out, I caught a flicker of movement to my right. A shadow tall, fast, running on 2 legs. But it moved strangely, like it was limping, or maybe dragging something. I called out. No answer. I walked to the edge of the trees, shined my light between the trunks, and saw hoof prints in the mud. But they weren't there earlier that day. I rushed back into the cabin and locked the door. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it echoing in my ears. Then my phone lit up. One notification. A message. No contact name. No number. Just 2 words. He's watching. I stared at the screen, trying to tell myself it was a prank. But the moment I turned the phone off, it lit back up. Same message. That's when I started digging. I needed answers. I found an old newspaper article from 1938. A black goat farmer named Oscar Washburn had lived near the bridge. He was known for his honesty, his livestock, until local men, angry at his success, accused him of witchcraft. One night, they dragged him out to the bridge and hanged him. But when they looked over the edge, his body was gone, vanished. Since then, people have claimed to see a creature, half man, half goat, wandering the woods, appearing at the bridge, sometimes even following them home. I didn't want to believe it. But the sounds didn't stop. Every night, more knocking. The windows would rattle, even though there was no wind. On the 5th night, I heard breathing. Inside the cabin, I froze in bed, too scared to move. The breathing got louder, closer. And then I saw them, two glowing red eyes, staring at me from the hallway. I blinked, and they were gone. That morning, I found hoof prints inside the cabin, leading from the front door to the foot of my bed. I should have left. I tried to leave. On the sixth night, I packed everything and got in my car. But as soon as I reached the bridge, the engine died. No warning. No lights. Just dead. I called for help. No signal. Not a single bar. I got out of the car, and it was dead silent. No wind. No insects. Not even my footsteps sounded right. Then I heard the rope again. That creaking, stretching sound, like something swinging in the wind. I looked up, and I swear to God, there was a figure hanging from the center beam of the bridge. It twitched, then vanished. I ran back to the cabin, locked everything, curtains shut, lights on. But the Goatman didn't care about locks. The knocking started again, on the walls, the windows, even the closet door inside the bedroom. The air inside the cabin turned freezing. I could see my breath, even though the heater was on. The lights flickered and buzzed. Then everything shut off. Darkness. I turned toward the hallway, and he was there, standing, watching. Horns curled from the sides of his head, like tree branches scorched by fire. His eyes burned. His skin was rough, like it had been torn and sewn back together. I couldn't move. He didn't run. He didn't speak. He just stared. Then I blinked, and he was gone. The next day, I searched the cabin for answers. That's when I found a hidden crawl space under the bedroom floor. Inside was a metal box. Inside the box, old photographs, letters, news clippings. One photo showed Oscar Washburn standing proudly next to his goats, but behind him, barely visible, was a twisted shadow. Tall and human. The letters were worse, handwritten notes from people who'd stayed near the bridge. They all said the same thing. He follows, even in the daylight. Don't say his name. He wants to trade faces. That last line chilled me. I looked at myself in the mirror that night, and for a second, my reflection didn't move when I did. It tilted its head and smiled. My phone rang. No caller ID. I answered, and all I heard was breathing. Ragged, wet, like someone or something right behind me. I spun around. No one. But the mirror was cracked. And in the center of the glass, scratched deep into the surface, were two words. Your turn. I don't know what he wants. But I know this now. He doesn't stay on the bridge. I couldn't take it anymore. I was done. The Goatman had followed me every night, his twisted laugh echoing through the cabin, his cold presence like a shadow always lurking. I couldn't escape. I tried. I went to the door again, desperate to leave. But the second my hand touched the knob, it froze. I yanked, but the door was stuck. A voice rang through the house. Soft, but unmistakable. You can't leave. I spun around. And there, standing at the top of the stairs, was the Goatman. His eyes glowing red, his mouth stretching into a grin that shouldn't have been possible. His body twisted, half human, half beast, like a nightmare made flesh. The room felt colder. The walls seemed to bend, suffocating me. I could hear the blood rushing in my ears. You've seen too much, Alex. I stepped back, heart pounding in my chest. No, this can't be real. The laughter echoed again, now joined by the sound of scraping, like claws on metal. The lights flickered out, and in the darkness, I felt a hand grip my neck. Cold, like ice. I choked, my body fighting against the pressure. My vision blurred. I was lifted off the ground, unable to breathe, unable to move. I was forced to look at the mirror hanging on the wall. My reflection stared back at me, but it wasn't me anymore. My face had shifted, twisted. The eyes were wild, the skin stretched unnaturally. I wasn't human. This is your face now, the goatman's voice whispered, distorted, like it was coming from inside my head. I screamed, but no sound came out. I struggled, kicking, clawing at my own skin, but it felt like I was losing myself. The darkness grew thicker around me, and the laughter was replaced by whispers, thousands of whispers, all talking over each other. You'll never leave. You'll never escape. You're one of us now. I felt my grip on reality slipping. I wasn't sure if I was awake anymore. The world around me was warping. The walls were pulsating. The air was thick with dread. I collapsed to the floor, gasping for breath. The cold hand was gone, but the whispers didn't stop. He wants to take your face. He's waiting for you to surrender. I crawled to the door. My hand brushed the knob again, and the moment I touched it, I felt a jolt of energy course through me. Final search. The door burst open. But I didn't escape. Instead, I saw it, the bridge, glowing faintly in the distance. And behind me, the goatman was still there watching, waiting. I ran. I ran for my life, but I knew deep down the goatman was already part of me. I woke up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat. The cold was gone, but the fear still clung to me. The house was silent now, and I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. I thought I had escaped. But as I lay there, breathing heavily, a voice whispered from the dark, "You're still mine." I jumped out of bed, terrified. I rushed outside, gasping for air, trying to shake off the lingering feeling that the goatman was still there watching. The bridge. I had to get to the bridge. I ran down the path, but when I reached the Old Alton Bridge, something was wrong. It wasn't empty. The bridge was crowded with people. They all stood in a circle, motionless, their eyes glowing red. I couldn't understand until I realized. One of them was me. My face. My body. But it wasn't me anymore. The goatman's laugh echoed in my ears. "Welcome to the family. I was never meant to leave,